Well, hello. In the last video, we saw how to use PHP language to communicate with our MySQL database. So now in this video, we'll use the same concept of PHP, but we'll make communication between our MySQL database and our Android application. In order to do that, we'll use an external library called Volley. We have already used external library called Picasso and glide. So if you don't know how to use external library, I'll suggest you to go and watch that video, and we'll use Volley in this video. So let's visit Volley web page. Go open Google and just type Volley Android, and it is officially supported by Android developer website. So here on the first link, you click on that, and if you want to learn theoretical things about Volley, you can read everything on this link. I don't know why it's taking too much time. Now okay, it's open now, so you can read everything you want to know. There are some benefits to use Volley. It's automatic scheduling of network requests. It is caching is supported, and debugging and tracing tool is provided, and everything. Basically, you need to call an REST API. You can get it from Volley, right? So down here, it's a dependency that you have to copy and paste in your Gradle file. So let's copy it first. Go to Android Studio and go to build.gradle module app file and paste that in the section on dependency and sync your project, right? So first of all, we have our database. Let me show you that. We have a database demo, and we have a table named user, and inside which we have two fields, name and email. ID is auto increment, so we don't need to add that. So first of all, in Android app, we'll make two fields, name and email, to insert, and we'll take a button. So let's design that first. Go to XML file. I'm not gonna focus on better designing. I'm just going to show you how to use Volley and how to insert data into database, right? So let's take edit text first, match parent wrap content, and hint will be email, ID will be email. You can give whatever you want, right? And margin right will be 30 dp, and it's a linear layout, right? So keep that in mind. And margin left will be 30 dp as well, and I'll give margin top as well. Margin top, let's say 50 dp, and let me copy the edit text and paste it right here. It will be password, no, name, not password, name. ID will be name. And what happened, it's stuck. All right, it's done, and I'm gonna remove margin top. I'm just going to give margin top as 20 dp. And now let's take a button to submit. Match parent wrap content. I'm gonna give a background as primary accent, right? And I'll give margin top as 20 dp, and I'm just gonna copy these two lines, margin left and right. The text will be submit to make it look better. Text color will be white, and the ID of that button will be submit, right? So now let's map this three things in our Java file. Let's declare two, wait a minute, private to edit text ed1 and ed2, whatever name you want to give, and a button, right? So now let's ed1 equals to find view by id r.id.email, and ed2 equals to find view by id r.id.name, and button equals to find view by id r.id.submit, right? So now when we click our button, we need to submit these values, right? So let's say button.set on click listener, new on click listener. Now we need whatever we type in this edit text, we need that in the string format. So we'll take two strings, string email equals to email is ed1 dot get text dot toString, and the same way string name will be ed2 dot get text dot toString, right? Now we'll do some validation. If email dot equals null and name dot equals null, we'll toast something like please enter values, right? And if you wanna, let's say if you wanna show error on edit text, you can also do like else if. Now let me just show it that way. Let me remove this. If email is null, then we'll say ed1 dot set error please enter email. I'm sorry if you're having some background noise, it's tractors going outside. And ed1 dot request focus, right? In the same way, let me just copy this. Instead of email, we'll take name, and name is ed2, and here name, right? Else if email dot equals null is not null, actually here's an exclamation mark, what is that, right? And name dot equals null. If email and name are not null, then we'll move ahead and we'll call a method submit users to database, and we'll pass email and name into this, right? Now move your cursor on this and press alt enter on your keyboard and create a method inside main activity, right? So inside this method we need a URL first of all to call our API. So let's say string URL equals to, I'm gonna keep it blank for now, and then we need to make a request through Volley, a string request, right? We are gonna make string. Basically, you can make string request, array request, and there are basically few types of requests which you can make through Volley. But for now, we are gonna make string request, which is offered by Volley library, equals to new string request, and inside which we have to give some parameters. The first one is request dot method dot post, right? Post or get or whatever method we'll take post method for now, and then we pass our URL, which I have not written for now, and then for third URL type new and press Ctrl space and enter, right? And then comma new error listener, right? That's it. So if our API gives some response, it will catch on this method on response, and if something bad happens and if our API doesn't give any response and some error occurs, that error will be shown under this method, under this method, right? So now we have made a request, and now we have to put this request in a request queue. So let's make a request queue. So request queue equals to volley dot new request queue, and we pass the context, right? So now we have to pass our edit text and email and name values to our request with our request, right? So in order to pass them to our REST API with our request, we have to create a hash map, right? So to pass this value, let's create a hash map, and we'll write right here. Wait, right here after this bracket, you open a curly brace and you write protected hash map. It will be string and string, then get params, which will throws an auth failure error, and instead which will take an object of hash map string map equals to new hash map, right? And we'll put our values inside this map object. Map dot put, first one will be name. We'll pass this value in map as a key value pair, right? So first one is name, the key will be name, and the value will be name string. And the same way, map dot put, key will be email and the value will be email. The reason why this is giving us an error is because we have to make this string final, right? And we have to return this map, return map. And for the debugging purpose, we can log our response, log.d response, and we'll pass a response right here. Okay, and if an error occurs, we can log our error inside our logcat by writing this plus error, right? So now the Android side part is over. We have to make a REST API now. So we have seen this demo of PHP. So in the same folder, let's create a new file called submit user.php, right? So open PHP block. First of all, we have to include our database file, include db.php. Now we are passing two values with post method. So let's make two variables, name equals to $_post. We are passing this value with post method. So post name dollar email equals to $_post email, right? Now we have to write query. So insert into user name and email. We are not going to pass ID, and values will be name and email. I messed up the name here, email, and let's change it here as well, email, right? So now we have to call a function result equal to mysql I underscore query. First parameter will be connection, and the connection variable is right here in db file, connection, and the second one will be our query, right? So if $result echo data inserted, right? And if something's wrong, we'll echo data not inserted. Don't forget semicolons. So here's our API. Now we have to pass this URL 192.168.42.4, okay, 233/demo. So the API we made is here. We have to copy this link. So copy this URL and paste it right here, slash the name of our file is submit user.php, submit user.php, right? So that's it. Let's run our application and see if it is working or not. And yes, to use Volley, we have to give internet permission, and we have to write one more thing inside our application tag, that is clear uses clear text traffic, and we have to make it true, right? So now run the app. Let me close our manifest file first and run our application and see if it is working or not. Okay, so our app has started. So let's enter email, Ray developers 618@gmail.com, and name will be Ray developers, and let's submit it. So when we open Logcat, we'll have a response called, come on, let's search it here, a response. Okay, it is a wrong device. So in emulator there is no response, I think. Let's see if it is inside our database. Let's refresh our database, and okay, nothing's inside our database, so something's wrong. Okay, one main important thing we forgot. We have to we have made request queue and string request, but the main thing you should never forget is to we have to add this string inside request queue. Okay, so right at the end, write request queue dot add string request and semicolon. Let's rerun our application. Let's write gray developers 618 at gmail.com and gray developers. Let's submit and see if the data is inside our application database or not. Okay, still no data. You are doing something wrong. I don't know what it is. Let's see response. Okay, response is there's something wrong with our API. Okay, it's telling undefined variable connection. We haven't write the right spelling of connection, right? So let's save it and let's yeah, in order that I've made a change in our backend, we don't need to rerun our application. All right, so let's submit and see if there is, yeah, we can see response in the logcat is data inserted, which we have echoed here, right? And if we refresh our database, value is inside our database as well. So this is how basically you submit the values from your Android application in MySQL database, right? So I think that's it for this video. In the next video we'll read the database values inside our application, right? So that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video.